This is Dr. S. Mohan Lakshmi, Professor and Head, Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering, Rohini College of Engineering and Technology, Kanyakumari District. The topic for this video lecture is Universal Synchronous Asynchronous Receiver Transmitter, where we call it as USART, and the number of this IC is 8251 or it is denoted as 8251A. So, on completing this video lecture, the students will be able to explain the functions of USART. They will be able to contrast and compare synchronous and asynchronous communication. They will be able to explain the various signals and registers associated with this USART. So 8251, as I told you already, it comes as 8251A, which is a programmable IC, and it is designed both for synchronous and asynchronous serial data communication. It supports the serial transmission of data. It is packed in a 28-pin IC. It receives parallel data from microprocessor or controller, convert to serial data and transmit. Similarly, it receives serial data from the outside world, convert to parallel data and transmit to microprocessor or microcontroller. So these are the basics of serial communication. Before going into the block diagram or the functions of USART, we'll see some basics of serial communication. So first of all, we should know what is baud rate. So baud rate is nothing but it is the number of signal changes per second. We should not define it as the number of bits per second. It is number of signal changes per second. And say for example, we have 1200 bps, which means that 1200 bits per second is getting transmitted or received. So nowadays it all goes in GB and Mbps rate. And coming to the difference between synchronous and asynchronous communication. So synchronous communication is where the transmitter and receiver will be having the same clock. So which means that the receiver will know when the transmitter is sending the data. Whereas in asynchronous communication, the transmitter will be running with different clock and the receiver will be running at different clock. So the receiver may not be knowing when the transmitter is sending the data. So we go for a technique called as a framing technique. That's what it is in the next factor. So framing technique, which means that so while you are transmitting the data, the start and stop bits should be added, which we call it as a frame. So we send the start bit followed by the data followed by the stop bit, and the receiver will be receiving the start bit, and if it identifies, normally the start bit will be a low bit. If it identifies that the start bit is low for the bit time, then whatever data is coming from the transmitter will be extracted as a data, and the stop bit will be a normally a high bit, and that will be extracted. So extracting the start bit and the stop bits at the receiver side, we call it as a deframing. So the data can be extracted and that can be held. And coming to the types of communication. So here we have simplex, half duplex, full duplex. So it supports full duplex, which means that it supports both the transmission and reception simultaneously. And this is a block diagram of USART, and you can see here we have various blocks like data bus buffer, read write control logic, modem control, then transmit buffer, then receiver buffer, or you say that transmitter section and the receiver section. So data bus buffer, of course, we have 8 data lines, bidirectional lines, to carry the data information. Nothing more else about it. And coming to the read write control logic, here we have certain 6 control signals associated. So one is reset, the other one is clock, the next one is control slash data, where the control is active high, data is active low, then read signal, write signal, chip select signal. Of course, we know the purpose of read and write signal. So whenever we want to read the data or write the information, this will be used. Chip select signal, it is used for selecting the particular IC. And the clock is normally connected to the microprocessor clock. It has nothing to do with the, it is connected to the system clock or the microprocessor clock. And coming here with the modem control. So modem control, so it is all related to the modem, and mostly it is used for the synchronous aspect, which is data set ready, data terminal ready, clear to send, request to send. And again we have a transmitter section and the receiver section. So we have certain signals associated with the transmitter section and the receiver section. So we'll see one by one. So as I mentioned, we have clearly 5 sections: transmitter section, receiver section, then data bus buffer, modem control, read write control logic. And in this read write control logic, this clearly monitor the data flow. And we have control register, which is a 16-bit register, can be divided into two 8-bit register. One is to set the mode word and the other is to set the command word. And we also have the status register to read the status of the USART. And similarly, we have the data buffer to hold the data. There is a parallel data. So when I want to transmit, that will be put up in the buffer, will be taken to the transmit data line. Similarly, while receiving, that it will be deframed. That is, start and stop bit will be deframed, or the data will be extracted and put it in the data buffer. And the remaining signals, that is active low signals, read, write, CS and C/D bar, are all used for read write operation with these 3 registers. And coming here, the C/D bar. So whenever this is high, the control register is selected for writing the control word or reading the status word. When this particular signal is low, the data buffer is selected for read write operation. So when the reset is high, it forces this 8251 in the ideal mode. And this clock input, as I have mentioned already, it is for the communication with the CPU, and it will not control either the serial transmission or the reception rate. And coming to the transmitter section, so the transmitter will accept parallel data from the CPU and converts that into a serial data. The transmitter section is double buffered, which means that it has a buffer register to hold an 8-bit parallel data, and it also has another register, we call it as an output register, to convert these parallel data into serial bits. When this output register is empty, the data is transferred from the buffer register to the output register. Now the processor can again load another data in the buffer register. So the signals associated transmit ready will go high when the buffer register is empty, and the transmit empty will go high when the output register is empty. And we have an important clock signal, which is transmit clock, which is an active low signal, which will control the rate at which these bits are transmitted by the USART. And normally the clock frequency you can set over here is, it can be set with 1, 16 or 64 times the baud rate. Coming to the receiver section, it accepts the serial data and convert them into parallel data. So once again, the receiver section is double buffered, which means that the input register will receive the serial data and it will convert to parallel, and the buffer register will hold this parallel data. So whenever this RxD line is going low, the control logic assumes that it is a start bit, it will wait for a half bit time and samples the line again. If the line is still low, then the input register will accept the following bits. It will form a character and it will load it into the buffer register. So which we call it as a deframing technique. So the receiver, now the CPU will read the parallel data from the buffer register. So again here we have one signal associated, which is receive ready line, which will go high when the input register loads a parallel data into the buffer register. So to indicate to the microprocessor that the data is available in the buffer register. Again, we have a clock signal, which is a receive clock, which will control the rate at which the data are received by the USAT. This once again, it is 1 or 16 or 64 times the baud rate. And during the asynchronous mode, there is a signal which is sync determination or break determination that will indicate there is a break in the data transmission. Similarly, during the synchronous mode, this particular signal will indicate there is a reception of a synchronous character. So we mostly concentrate over here with an asynchronous communication. So this happens with the synchronous mode also. And these are the possible assessment questions when considered with the USAT. So they may give you what is the, they may ask you to find out what is the transmitter clock when you have the transmission data at this particular baud rate, and the baud rate factor is this much, 16, 4, was that is either 64, something like that. Okay. And they may ask you certain simple questions like what is baud, what is framing, and what will happen to this particular signal when it is going high or low. All these things will be asked. Thank you.